Hi everyone, this is going to be a reading on Trisha Paytas to you guys, and maybe some messages for H3H3, for Moses, maybe for Trisha as well. We'll just kind of see where I go with this. So this is a little squiggle that I was doing during a reading that I did on Trisha yesterday. And I've since deleted the video because I watched the first few minutes and it was a lot of information in a short amount of time that I just figured I'll kind of gloss over everything in this video to kind of make it more condensed. I've actually done a video on her a few weeks before the Dr. Drew came out, and I deleted that one as well. I didn't even review it because I thought that I was being really harsh and I didn't understand why I wanted to do that video, why I felt called to do it. So I'm just going to post this one and leave it at that. So this is the candle that I lit for her reading yesterday. It's September 16th today, and this morning I lit an intention candle, and I've never done this before. I've never lit an intention candle before. This is for all living and passed away child sexual abuse victims who suffered at the hands of others' depravity. And I'm going to let both of these candles burn completely out in honor of those. So to talk about her, what I wanted to distinguish is the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath and someone with mental illness on a psychic level for me. So when I pick up on someone with a mental illness, it comes across as a focus on the mind. I can feel it within the mind. And so I know that this is not something spiritual. It's something or caused by trauma. It's something that's occurring within the systems of the brain. When I picture a sociopath and a psychopath, the difference between them is a sociopath is very emotional. They have suffered some trauma that has caused their emotions to go haywire almost. And so their mind feels tangled, it feels interweaved. It's their mind and their spiritual body that's very twisted. When it comes to a psychopath, I believe the medical term for a psychopath is someone who doesn't contain human emotions, that they possibly were born that way. I'm not sure if that's a theory or not. I haven't done any research between the medical differences of it, but I've done readings for and on all three sets of people, and knowingly and unknowingly of what they've been labeled as, whether it's a mental issue, sociopath, or psychopathy. And the common denominator with psychopathy for me is it is a predestined occurrence. So it's very rare because the psychopath gets away with it. They've always gotten away. I would label Jeff Bezos as a psychopath. I would label other similar, very well-known people as psychopaths. It's something to do with a DNA, a spiritual DNA within them that is dark. It's a dark DNA, and the DNA is a win at all cost. they want to suppress humanity and suppress the souls and the system of elevation that this whole world is going towards. Like, we're all elevating, and they're trying to prevent it. So that's one of the other reasons why more psychopaths are being born present day than there have been in previous lifetimes, because we're in a very dramatic spiritual shift right now. Within the next 3 lifetimes, there's going to be a dramatic spiritual shift. And these psychopaths are trying to come in through the human life, through breeding with, you know, other DNAs in order to get in here, in order to kind of push this forward and to kind of be able to connect to the physical body. I hope I'm making myself clear with that. I'm not sure if I am. I'll go into further detail of things that are not celebrity related on my second channel. It's linked below, and I think I'm following on here, and I'll put it in the community tab once I figure out how to work that, once I start posting those videos or recording them. But that's basically it. Is the psychopath comes into this world on a mission, a spiritual mission that is of repression. They want to repress the souls for their own bidding, right? And so sociopaths and just people who do things that are against their souls feeling, like when you do things that aren't right and you know they're not right, you're just doing the bidding of the psychopaths, of the dark soul. And so oftentimes sociopaths get involved in magic, they get involved in demon work, because they're just not as intelligent as the psychopath, honestly. And what happens with the trauma with the psychopath is it happens as a young baby. Oftentimes when the baby hasn't even established its language yet, so baby can't even talk, and something as simple as like seeing a card for the first time can traumatize the baby. The baby gets really scared of the card, and you know, the mom doesn't do anything about it. She laughs about it. And so that trauma, since the baby doesn't understand what's going on, opens that gateway into the spiritual body. It opens the spiritualism of the baby, and then that psychotic DNA comes through, that alien DNA. It enlightens the baby, and that's kind of the process of the psychopath. Sociopath is something traumatic happens, could be this, could be something else, like a card situation or something else, and it's fear. It's all based out of fear. Yeah, so anyway, I hope I'm making myself clear. I hope I'm making sense. I'm going to post it regardless, but talking about what was going on here, I've watched the mysterious videos, and that came up in this reading where she has watched the videos, she is aware of them, and she is panicked and worried and confused about it, because she had not expected to have a compilation of all the discrepancies in the things that she has said. And even when it comes to trauma, Mysterious has correctly identified very closely to things that have actually happened. So the closest that we will ever get to the truth based off of the things that Trisha has released into the public is in those videos. And what Trisha wants to do is bind herself legally to H3 because they have bigger financial pockets. So there is that hope and that searching of mysterious and other bloggers who will quote and reference things from H3H3 or be able to prove and place blame on H3H3 in order to get that financial gain from them. That's her plan. That's something she's brainstorming. That's what she wants. Of course, she wants to silence everything and suppress everything, but there is that motivation to get a financial reserves again, from H3H3 and anyone else that she can kind of pocket here and there. It's a revenge seeking, and that's something that I see very clearly. And I see folders, H3H3, or I'll call you Ethan. Ethan, I see folders for you, stacks of folders. I don't know if that's just a representation for me or if that's something factual for you, but you need to get everything as organized as possible. I see Ela as being the backbone, the foundation of the family, your immediate family and the extended family. She has this sense of tranquility about her and calm, and it's very godly. Whatever's in her is very godly. And even I remember still in her reading of bringing something spiritual down into earth. I don't know if that's prayer, if that's what was being represented is prayer that's working, but whatever it is that she does and is doing is very helpful. And to solidify your separate roles in this particular situation, because that's going to make things a lot easier and a lot less stressful. So let her be the nurturer, let her be the calm, let her be the one who kind of holds everyone together, and you take care of the resources. You take care of just like the physical things that need to be organized and compartmentalized and sorted out for legal purposes. And of course you can kind of intertwine where, like kind of pick up on each other, just normal healthy relationship stuff, but have those defined roles, especially for this, and that's going to make things a lot easier for you guys, okay? Trisha, for you, this unfortunately has to happen for you. You will never reach the popularity that you've once had. You will never reach the finances that you once had. You will never reach I'm seeing like the joy in feeling in the feelings that you've had before, where things seem effortless and easy and you can just do whatever you want, spend money wherever you want, go wherever you want, and have that freedom, have that luxury, irregardless of what kind of things you do behind the scenes. It's just not going to pan out that way. That's not to have you lose hope and to give up, because you're going to have to face this one way or another in whatever life or lifetime. You can't escape this. But there is gratitude in your current circumstances and the things that you currently have, for when you lose everything, there's still something to be grateful for. You're not going to be put out on the streets or anything like that. I don't see that, but it is going to be more humbling if you choose to be humble about it. And that'll help you also recognize that there's value in things that are not superficial, right? That isn't the things of this world. All of this is it's not of value. Yes, of course, it's great to have fun, attractive things, but at our core as a soul, none of this we care about. And what I saw was you linked to the Prohibition era and prostitution. And I asked what was going on there, and they said that you weren't that good of a person. You hurt a lot of people. I didn't get any more information about that, but I do feel like that was significant enough to bring back up again and to let you know, and maybe that'll help you get a bigger picture of your soul's journey and kind of who you are as a soul, and maybe connect things and heal things from past lives that need to be healed. It's going to take you several more lifetimes, I'll say at least 2 more lifetimes, in order to really rid yourself of the things that you've caused in this lifetime and previous lifetimes. But again, it's about being humbled and being appreciative of the things that you have in life, and to not harm other people, right? I can compare this to people who go to church, or who, just like mean-spirited people. Like, they put on this act as if they're kind and they're generous and they're sympathetic, but internally, even if they don't talk about it to other people, they don't wish you well. Or like I was saying about church, like they go to church and they're so holy on one day, but the rest of the time they are judgmental and just not very good people. That's not helping you. That's not serving you at all. This takes a lot of work. Improving yourself is a lifetime experience, and you have to try your best and do your best in every situation. And sometimes, because we're all human, we're gonna fail. We're not gonna be perfect, but it's that effort that you continuously put in that will pay off. It's constantly working on yourself and not being tied to all of these different distractions that prevent you from feeling who you truly are and what needs to be done in order to become a better service to yourself and to other people. Because the whole purpose of our souls truly is to evolve and to return back to the kingdom of God. And this is a universal truth. This is not to put it into one religious God, but there is one truth and one God that spans all of these belief systems. And so that's kind of the process that we're going on now. And this is an important lesson for everyone to recognize and to realize that you can't get away from your mistakes. Like, you can't run from it and pretend like it doesn't happen, and that at the very last hour of your life you repent and everything's okay. It just doesn't work that way. There's no cheat code to this, because your soul, when you pass away, it wants to leave, it wants to evolve, it wants to move on, but you have to raise your frequency, you have to elevate yourself in order to leave this world. And you recognize when you pass how dense this world is and how horrifying some things here are, and how much pain there is. And some choose to stay, some choose to come in, which I'll talk about in my other videos, but they choose to stay in order to help people, and that's why I talked about with light work. And someone actually mentioned, I deleted the comment, but someone said that Moses isn't a light worker, and I disagree. I'm gonna stand by the fact that he is. Maybe I'm using the wrong terminology, because that's another term that I've never looked up, but what I see in my visions is working for the light, working on the light. It's the problem of, like, you don't have to really label yourself as that and have to be this hippy dippy person in order to be a light worker. You just naturally vibrate at a higher frequency that elevates and enlightens other people. Just like Trisha, it's slowing her process of a downward descent. It's slowing it down, and people that he's connected with, it helps them in some way, whether it's in a negative way or not. Like the initial impact, it helps them, it better serves them and makes them become better people. because as a human, it's different how they conduct themselves, right? They're still people. They're not like fully some other person. They were still born here. Same with the psychopaths. There's still humanity within them. But anyway, it's kind of like if you push like a circular piece of paper into water, like a cardboard paper into water really fast, and it flips. So I see that with some of these, what I call light workers, where it's being pushed too fast, so it flips, but on the way of flipping back to the top, it's like shooting off this high frequency to other people in order for them to also enlighten. So it's, I mean, I'm still glossing over it, but that's essentially what I'm getting, and I don't even know why I was even bringing that up. I don't even remember now, but I have no idea. I don't even remember. Something else that I wanted to mention, though, is I'm going to put the links down below. I'm going to find them, and I'm going to put them down below. I just had this feeling years ago with Trisha, because I used to watch her like very rarely. After, like years ago, I stopped watching her, but I had this feeling, and this is around this time that I stopped, that she was aware of what I'm gonna link below. And I encourage you guys, warning, these are tragic stories. For me, 100% believe. I feel it, I see it, I understand it, I know it. I'm sure if you ask any other psychic that you find reputable, they would, and that work of God, of the light, then they would agree with this. That she's aware of these videos. She's aware of this, and it was this twisted fantasy that she was trying to push out of being victims similar to these stories. Obviously not to the same degree, but pulling from their experiences in order to create this for her story. And it's important that I bring this up and that I let these, is because even in Mysterious's video, I saw that repetition of how could something like this happen? It's just not possible. And unfortunately, it's very, very real and very, very possible. And this is not just one case. This has only been released. That's it. There are plenty of cases like this. Not to say that this is what has happened or hasn't happened with Trisha. I would just reference Mysterious's videos for those to kind of get closer to the truth of the matter. But please be aware that this stuff does exist. And again, to not cloud yourself with the idea or thoughts that something like this would never happen and people would get away with it. So that's the basis of what I wanted to say in this. I don't know if I even added or contributed anything to what's been going on, because I feel like a lot of this you don't really need to be a psychic to know. Things will be okay with the H3 family, like Ethan and his wife and the extended family, even Moses. There will be some healing there. There will be a reconciliation there. And again, what happened is speeding up the process of the separation between them. But again, it's like it's 2 years or less that this is going to continue on between the two of them, because he doesn't like being told what to do. He needs to stand up for himself and just be himself in order to help him through his journey, his spiritual journey. So, you know, it is what it is with him, as far as how he's handling it with his family. That's all I know about that. I'll just pull this just to see, but I also wanted to mention too, Trisha, that you know what you've been up to. You know what you did. You know where your heart was at. You know what you were looking for and desiring and asking for. And, you know, all these people who do these manifestations and think, oh, you have to be extremely specific, otherwise it could just go completely to crap. That's witchcraft, and that's not gonna you're doing the bidding of mean-spirited people. They're just using you, and it will completely backfire on you to varying degrees. And Trisha, this is a perfect example. You will never get away with this, no matter what. You'll never get away with it. And anything that you've asked for or looked for or wanted or desired within your heart, that was dark, you can't get away from. Okay? I don't know. These aren't even supposed to be reversed, honestly. I don't know why they're coming out reversed. The first one, because the whole deck, but that just goes to show, I guess. So, it's just a repetition of what I said. I mean, speaking to you, Trisha, I don't feel, it's going to be very painful for a while for you at first. It's going to be very painful to come to terms with, and I don't see you taking it gracefully. I don't see you being grateful for the things that you have and the life, like even having the ability to even have a beautiful life. I feel like, honestly, it feels like bitterness is going to continue and maybe not learn your lessons. So this is just a very, once again, stern warning for you. Please, 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 please work on yourself. Just step by step, little by little, even just the tiniest thing. Just try, because your soul wants this, needs this. I think the biggest thing that you desire in life is to hear from your family, your father, your mother, that they're proud of you and that they love you, and to sincerely feel that and understand that, and not feel abandoned and betrayed in the way that you did at one point in your life. Which, obviously, we don't need to go into detail, but I think that's your greatest wish, is to feel like someone, anyone, is proud of you. And the hardest part about this, Trisha, is that you have to be yourself in order for it to even feel real. Because if someone says that they're proud of you, but you're putting on an act, then deep down you know that it's in a way not real, because they're not really seeing you for who you are. And when you get to that core of it and you rid yourself of everything that doesn't help you, it's only making things worse for you. It's only distracting you and enabling you to stay this way. If you can just try really hard, I think you will realize you can be proud of yourself for the progress that you made, and humble yourself, and you will feel a lot better, a lot more at peace. And to constantly remind yourself, like, in those moments that will soon come. So it's about, like, you can't avoid it, so it's about how you at least approach it. But then you could look with honest eyes at your past, and maybe it was fun, maybe it was entertaining, but I don't think that you would ever really want to do it all over again, because it didn't do anything for you except for teach you a valuable lesson, right? And I don't know. I mean, like I said, this is going to take several lifetimes for you, so just, I guess the best advice would be, besides her, is to others, of like protecting yourself, paying attention, and diffusing the situation as much as you can, and distancing yourself as much as you can, because people need to be able to have that space to self-destruct, and then rebuild on their own. You don't want to be part of that explosion that's going to happen irregardless. This is not to make this a hopeless situation, because it's not. It's about breaking everything down in order to rebuild something that is much better serving to the soul. So that's my reading. I'll see you guys in the next video.